we in this audience, I'm sure, sense that America needs to be awakened. But has it occurred to us what we need to be awakened from? Just a night's sleep? I think not, because it's not that hard to wake somebody up from a night's sleep. We're dealing with a situation where you got to keep shaking and shaking, slapping them, trying to throw them in a cold shower, put coffee down and whatever, but we can't seem to wake up. Well, what are we trying to be awakened from? Or what is it we're trying to awaken our countrymen from? Anybody have an idea? How about a spell? Has it ever occurred to us that we in America are under a spell? I'm talking about a spell of a sorcerer, a spell of an enchanter, a spell of a charmer. Turn over to Deuteronomy chapter 18. Let's start with verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, one who uses divination, one who practices witchcraft, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who casts a spell, or a medium, or a spiritualist, or one who calls up the dead. Now, I only want us to center in on that portion in verse 11 where it says in the New American Standard, or one who casts a spell. If you have the King James translation, it says one who is a charmer, or a charm, cast a charm. So one translation uses the word charm, does it not? The other translation uses the word spell. I looked up the words. In Strong's, it's number 2266, and it means to join, literally or figuratively, specifically by means of a spell, to, quote, fascinate. I thought that was interesting, to fascinate. In Holman's, it says, to unite, be joined, to tie a magic knot or spell, to charm. Now, the first point I think it's important for us to get, those who believe the Bible, is that it's possible to cast a spell. Isn't that what it says? Isn't it amazing how we don't want to accept that, does it? What is this, some more New Age? I didn't write this, but the Bible teaches that it is possible to cast a spell or to cast a charm. If it was not possible, it would not say to Israel not to allow such a person in their midst, in their land. The law says you are not to allow someone to cast a spell or to cast a charm. I looked up the definition of the English word in Webster's 1828 dictionary, and this is what it says for the word spell. A story, a tale. That's interesting, isn't it? A spell. A story, a tale. Another one is number 2 definition. A charm consisting of some words of occult power. So there we see the second definition of spell. A charm consisting of some words of occult power. We pass these words out. I looked up the word charm in Webster's 1828, and it says, number 1, to subdue or control by incantation or secret influences. So there we see that it means that you can subdue a people, you can control a people by secret influence. This sounds not like your typical sermon, does it? But is it not biblically based? Goes on to say under charm, to subdue by secret power, especially by that which pleases and delights the mind. Let's think on that a second. To subdue by secret power, especially by that which pleases and delights the mind. I also read here under the word charm, it says, words, characters, or other things imagined to possess some occult or unintelligible power. Hence a magical power or spell by which, with the supposed assistance of the devil, witches and sorcerers have been supposed to do wonderful things. Spell is enchantment. Hence that which has power to subdue opposition and gain the affections. So under charm there it says power to subdue opposition and gain the affections. I was told that special award was given to Kirk Douglas for his acting career. And when he accepted that award from Hollywood, he made this statement, that there's power in movies. Now, if you think of the movies and you think of television in light of the definitions that we've just read concerning charm and spell, concerning the images, the pleasing of the mind, the subduing of opposition, is it possible that this has happened in our land? It begins to make sense, doesn't it? Remember in the story of Wizard of Oz, how the Wicked Witch was having difficulty subduing her opponent. And finally she said, I know what I shall do. Take this crystal ball. And she spreads her hands across the crystal ball, and she creates a lovely poppy field. Oh, so beautiful. And Dorothy, the lion, the scarecrow, the Tin Man, going across this lovely poppy field, fall to what? Sleep. Is it possible that that's not just story? Is it possible that the crystal ball sits in the living room of every home practically in America? We're dealing with a nation right now that has severe unemployment. The people do not even own homes. They're lucky if they can have an apartment that they can meet the rent on every month, and their children have no yard to play in. No inheritance left for their people. The farmers have lost their farms. We are in dire straits economically. And does anybody say anything? There's something wrong. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. There's something severely wrong. What could it be? If you had that event that I just described happen 100 years ago in America, even 50 years ago in America, would there have been a different response? But why? Why are we behaving as we are right now? I've wondered, why is it that every other race in America can be for their race? Why is it that Muhammad Ali can have a gathering of blacks and Indian children and talk to them about self-esteem and how to get ahead and so forth? Why is it we can have an all-black college, mind is a terrible thing to waste? And why is it that we can be concerned about, the Oriental people can be concerned about Orientals, but a white person concerned for a white person is a what? A racist. How did this happen? It makes no sense. The white man is bad. Wherever the white man has gone, he's destroyed the land, his greed, he's broken every treaty, he's done this, he's done that. Isn't that what remains out there right now? Isn't that the value structure? How about this one? You can't fight City Hall. I've always wondered about that. Why is it you can't fight City Hall? You can fight your neighbor, you can fight with your wife, you can fight anything in the world, but they say you can't fight City Hall. And one just a hair lower than that, Christians saying we must wait until Jesus comes. Nothing we can do now, just wait. There's going to be the big Armageddon, and then after that, when Jesus returns, there's all kinds of theology out there, isn't there? But the Christian army is totally neutralized, asleep. Muslims can promote their way of life. Jews can promote their way of life. But there's nothing we can do. Again, we're dealing with a spell that's been cast. And that spell has been cast in the church.